What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Schneid. How we doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing well. We have football. It's football week. Football week. We got the Hall of Fame game on Thursday. Chargers versus Lions. I'm going to watch every goddamn minute of that game. I'll tell you that much. I'm just super excited for football. It's going to be whatever of a game. Obviously, nobody's going to be playing, but I'm going to watch every minute of that thing. So I'm excited. Hope you all are excited. We got almost like 5 weeks basically to the day to draft of Hot Best Ball Summer left. So it's kind of crunch time. So I wanted to come on and let's get out our exposures. If you guys want to jump on your computers, jump on your phone, get your exposures ready. We can talk through it. Let me know if you have some guys you want to talk about in the chat. We can take a look at my exposures. Obviously, I'm going to go through all of mine, or most of it, not every single player, obviously, but we're going to go through the main guys. We're going to go through it, the top, the bottom, and then see where our gaps are. I think it's a very important exercise to do, at multiple points throughout the summer, throughout the draft season, to make sure, if there are gaps, which I'm sure there are. I'm positive there's gaps for me. I'm confident there's gaps for you. So we can identify those and then correct them, as we finish up the draft season. We got Harbin in here. How you doing, man? GM. Yo, says Ant Wall. Putt Daddy's in here as always. Appreciate you, dog. We got get ready for Gaz and Breakout. Maybe. We got GM from Best Ball and Call. Appreciate you, Anthony, popping in. Let's get into it. So let's look at the pull up Underdog. Chow Chow's full, Pomeranian's full, so we don't have a crazy amount to draft right now, which is fine. I want to get some sprints in, stuff like that. We're gonna do Best Ball Mania tonight, but again, after looking at our exposures. So I am 288. How many slows do I got? This many slows. I don't know, 12 or whatever. 288 drafts minus sprint, minus eliminator, rookies and sophomores, weekly winners. So 288 of regular drafting. You can see all the tournaments there. Basically, I want to identify Best Ball Mania, of course, and my overall exposure as well. So kind of separate those two things a little bit. Let's go to quarterbacks first. Caleb Williams at the top. What have you been hearing? Not horrible things. Like realistically, we've been hearing, essentially he's struggling a little bit, but it's a complicated offense. So I'm really not concerned. He was my highest exposed player overall in the pre-draft, big board season. And he's, dollar wise, he's right there again, post draft. So I'm happy to have Caleb Williams that high. Let's zoom in here so we can see it better. So I'm happy to have Caleb Williams that high. I'm not too concerned about it. Baker Mayfield, again, another one of my top guys. Happy to have him there. I love the Tampa Bay Miami game. That's probably my favorite game. I think it's a little less owned, a little more under the radar-ish. So that's a game that I'm focusing on for sure. Justin Fields, I'm sure I'm not the only one. We dodged a bit of bullet there. So I'm happy to have my exposure, happy to pick up more shares. Jane Daniels, I think I'm a little lower in Best Ball Mania. We'll check it in a second here, but I don't mind him being there. Obviously, Drake May, Penix, Prescott. Little hit for the Dallas Cowboys offensive line today, Tyler Guyton, but only a fracture sounds like. No torn ACL, which is massive. Obviously, he goes from missing the entire season to sounds like 4 to 6 weeks. You never know how that healing is going to go. So hopefully, he does fully heal and he gets back, call it week 4 in the NFL season, something like that. And they don't miss too much of a beat. So I'm not going to worry too much about not drafting Dak Prescott. It's going to, when it calls for it. And we're going to kind of take it from there. With the injuries, it's why I've slowed my roll on BBM till more info. Only Stafford injury concerns me right now. Yeah. I mean, I'm not drafting Stafford much at all, period. I just don't think he has that ceiling. Like people are saying he could throw 40 touchdowns. I just don't see it. I mean, I know he has good weapons. I know the offense, but I just don't see, I just don't see Matt Stafford going out there and having like a career season at this stage of his, football life. Big time payday. Who just got paid? I got some breaking news, maybe. Breaking news, potentially. Who just got paid? Oh, Bernard Ryman. Okay, cool. For the Colts. Left tackle for the Colts got paid. Cool. Good for him. That helps. Who Hames in here? What's happening, man? Appreciate you popping in. Just for Puka and Adams. Yeah, no, I agree. Like I'm still drafting Puka. I'm still drafting Adams. I'm not super concerned. Like Stafford's going to be all right at the end of the day. I've always had Neighbors over Puka personally, just in a vacuum. Obviously there's times where it makes sense to draft Puka regardless. I want to get exposure to him, but in a vacuum, I would definitely have, Neighbors over Puka. So let's go down the list again. Kyler Murray, happy with that. Tua, I think is kind of underrated. Supposedly he's crushing it in camp right now, which is, not unexpected. Realistically, the big concern is health. Can he stay healthy for the entire season? In the teams that I draft him, obviously I'm gambling on that, but I'm happy to take that bet. The entry fees aren't extremely high because I'm not drafting him in chow chows and, not a ton of best ball manias realistically either. Love to have Stafford as wide quarterback 3 in week 17, but I got to think he gets hurt. I got to think he hurts advanced rates. Just way easier to see 3-4 touchdown games more so than a big full year. Yeah. I mean, it's a juicy game, right? Like the Atlanta game is obviously an extremely juicy game and I'm super in on that. I'm on the Atlanta side. Like obviously you see my exposure to Penix is relatively high. So I'm on the Atlanta side of that game. I would rather go with the Atlanta side of that game. So that's kind of where I'm at, but I don't blame you. And I'm always trying to not build 3 quarterback teams. Is my big zag when everyone else is zigging with the 3 quarterbacks. I'm trying to build 2 quarterback teams as often as humanly possible. And Stafford just never fits that bill realistically. Steve Schaupin here. What's happening, man? Appreciate you popping in here. Tua has always been a camp highlight reel. I know he's very, very good in season. It's as long as he's healthy, he's fine. He's a very good NFL quarterback realistically, if he's healthy, if he's on the field. That's always what it kind of boils down to with Tua. So we'll see. JT Best Ball popping in. Appreciate you coming in here. Josh Allen, I like that. Joe Burrow, that's actually relatively low. I'm surprised by that. I thought it would be higher. It probably is in Best Ball Mania, I'd imagine. Obviously, the Arizona Cincinnati game I'm focusing on in week 17. Trying to get more Stroud, so that's a bit of a gap. As far as my entry fees are concerned, percentage is fine, but entry fees is a little bit low, so that's a little bit of a gap there. Let's go to the bottom now. If I can, I don't have to zoom out, I guess. Jeez. Okay, there we go. Let's go to the bottom and see if I have any gaps here. So Cam Ward at the very bottom, once in a puppy. I'm a man of my word. I said I'm not going to be drafting him in Best Ball Mania, and here we are. I just am not ready to hang my hat on Cam Ward or Jackson Dart realistically. I just don't think that the rookies are going to be at all what you need this year. I just do not think it's necessary to push quarterback in that way. I have 0 Tyler Shuck. I don't think it makes any sense in the world to draft him. But if you're doing it, Godspeed. Anthony Richardson, I think that's once in a Best Ball Mania. Bo Nix, little light. I don't love the playoff schedule for the Denver Broncos. That's my big concern there. Same thing with Kansas City. I also think that Patrick Mahomes is overpriced. I think Baker Mayfield should be going ahead of Patrick Mahomes, but I'll take him when it makes sense. Bo Nix, again, that's a little light, but I do have my shares in the big board season. So I am kind of hedging it that way. I don't like their schedule. So that's a big reason I'm kind of soft fading Bo Nix a little bit. Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, Bryce Young. Yeah, maybe a few more shares of Bryce Young. There's Matt Stafford, a little bit there in 3 quarterback builds whenever I do build a 3 quarterback team, which is as rare as I possibly can have it. Jalen Hurts, lower than most. I'm just lower than most on Hurts. Again, I think Joe Burrow in a vacuum should go higher than Hurts. So I have Burrow ranked higher than Hurts for sure. So I wouldn't mind getting that up a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about it if I'm being honest. I mean, that is a juicy game against Buffalo, but if there's 4 feet of snow or something, we'll see. I think I need to get a little more exposure to Hurts, and that's kind of been in the back of my mind for a couple weeks now because I knew that my exposure was here, but it is what it is. And then you see some more guys there. I'm not too worried about the rest of them. Let's go to Best Ball Mania. for my quarterbacks and see where we're at. So Caleb way at the top, 23%, Baker 19%, Fields, Penix, Murray, Daniels. Okay, I'm happy with the Daniels shares. Burrow, I probably wouldn't mind getting that higher for sure. Drake May, happy with that. Lamar Jackson, happy with that. Josh Allen, I've got some room for some more Josh Allen in my life. Little bit of JJ McCarthy, even for everyone who knows that I don't particularly like JJ McCarthy. One Stafford, two Bo Nix. Yeah, Purdy. That's one that is a gap for me. Absolutely is Purdy. And it's not on purpose whatsoever. Just every time I go to draft Purdy, someone else takes him in front of me. There's a lot of stack options there. I really want to get more Purdy for sure. And probably more Stroud. I guess Goff. Hurts, I've got 3 shares out of, I think I'm 76 or something in. So I still have a ton of time, by the way, to catch up. I still have a ton of time. So I'm not too worried about my Hurts or my Purdy, but those are two quarterbacks that I want to focus on. Purdy more than Hurts, but, Hurts a little bit. 5th round Hurts was lovely. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's not for me as much as it is for other people. I'll say that. But it's not like a full fade. I do want to get a little more Hurts, but I probably will be below the field. So there's that. I'll probably be 4 to 6%, something like that. 77 teams in Best Ball Mania is where we're at. Let's quickly go through tight ends because it's not a big concern. This is Best Ball Mania only. So Kate Otten, again, I like that Miami game almost always with Baker. Maybe it's a little bit too much, 24%, but he's just the last option at the bottom of the draft, and he's a very viable tight end option. I'm doing a lot of 2-5-8-3 is my most common build. So 3 tight ends. Sometimes I start with Kate Otten straight up. So if not, he's my tight end 2. So that's a guy as you can tell, like obviously this is kind of where I'm starting, right? Brenton Strange, Kate Otten, Mike Gesicki, Mason Taylor, you know what I mean? Terrence Ferguson. These are the guys that I'm drafting a lot in 3 tight end builds. My tight end 2, tight end 3, that sort of a thing. Juwan Johnson, you see right there. So no real issues with anything here. Maybe I need to lighten up on Kate Otten a bit and potentially Gesicki, but I mean, I just think that's where the value is at tight end personally. DQ saying the Cade's too cheap, overweight on him. Yeah, I think he's too cheap as well. He's a very, very viable option at the bottom of the draft. So I think it makes sense to take him where he's going. Tyler Warren, happy with that. Ingram, I'm surprised by that. So that works. Maybe focus a little more. Kraft, I've been picking up shares. I've been focusing on getting more Tyler Kraft in my life. Freiermuth, I've stopped drafting, obviously, since he's, Jonnu Smith came over and he's fallen. But I'll still click him as my tight end 3. I think it makes sense at times. Hawkinson's a good click. Pitts is fine. This is kind of where I want to be on both Bowers, right at the field, 8%. I'm fine with that. And then I'm pretty overweight on Trey McBride, basically double the field on Trey McBride. I just think he makes more sense to click where he's going as opposed to Brock Bowers where he's going. So that's how my exposure is going to be. I'm going to be overweight on McBride, and I'm going to be at the field or slightly underweight on Bowers. Any gaps? Chigakonkwo is a guy that I definitely want to focus on. Jeez, there we go. That's a guy that I want to focus on. A little more Kelsey, I want to click a little bit, just naked. Not with Mahomes, I should say. Schultz, I'm fine with that. Arroyo, get a couple more clicks. Njoku, get a couple more clicks. Ferguson, Kincaid, all these guys I could click. They just go in a wonky spot for tight ends. I'm either drafting McBride or Kittle. That's a guy that I need to focus on a little more is Kittle here. I'm either drafting those guys or I'm waiting to the very end of drafts. So where, Ferguson, Kincaid, and Njoku, it's realistically like even Kelsey, it's just where they go doesn't make a lot of sense for how I'm building. Jonnu, when he was going in that range, he's fallen quite a bit now, even Laporta a little bit, Goddard, all of these, even, likely I'm surprised I have that much, but these are kind of, all of the tight ends that are going in a weird range for me where I'm focused on other positions, running back typically, and potentially wide receivers. So I'm not shocked. I'm not sure there are gaps either. It just kind of is what it is. Let's focus on just Best Ball Mania. Actually, I was having all of my exposures here, but let's just focus on Best Ball Mania because that's my biggest concern right now. Yeah, tight ends in the QB pocket, that too. Quarterbacks, running backs, you know what I mean? Not necessarily wide receivers, but maybe there's a couple clicks. Kyle Williams, obviously, everybody knows that's one of my guys. So that's definitely a guy in that range. But yeah, I'm okay with my tight end exposure. A couple guys that I need to focus on maybe a little bit more, but we'll see. Let's pop over to wide receivers. So Rome Odunze getting some positive buzz right now. You love to see it. 32.5% Rome Odunze. I like it. I'm happy with it. I'm not going to change a thing. I'm going to be 30% Rome Odunze if he's going where he's going. So yeah, happy with that. Kyle Williams, 26%. That's my guy. My entire brand basically hinges on the season that Kyle Williams is going to have first on him. And here we are. Yoshi Voss, I think, is a phenomenal click in the 18th round. I don't understand why he's going there. We're drafting other lesser offenses, wide receiver 4, and a little bit of news out of James Rapien, the Bengals, kind of one of the Bengals guys, saying it's not even a competition. It's not even a conversation. Yoshi Voss is wide receiver 3, and that's when he's talking about Jermaine Burton. So yeah, I don't understand why the wide receiver 3 on one of the most potent offenses in the NFL is going after a bunch of, the Carolina Panthers wide receiver 4 or the same, spot as, Coker. It doesn't make any sense in the world. So yeah, I'll be 20% Yoshi Voss, no problem. Darnell Mooney definitely slowed on that since the injury. Mind you, there will be a price. There will be a cost where it makes sense to click Darnell Mooney. It's just not quite right now. Drake London, obviously, I'm high on that Rams Atlanta game, very high. We talked about it a little bit earlier. So Drake London, I'm going to be 20%, period, end of story on Drake London. No questions asked. I'm going to be 20% Drake London. So I'm right there. I'm going to keep it there. Josh Palmer was one of my early stands. He's getting some very nice pub lately. So that works for me. Elijah Moore was getting some good buzz until a little bit of leg soreness. I'm not too worried about that either. That's another thing I wanted to talk about was like the camp injuries or the guys not practicing. I'm not too worried about it right now. We're in the first week of practice. So first week back, guys are going to get dinged up. They're going to get sore. They're going to have slight, not necessarily pull a muscle, but, a little bit of tightness, that sort of a thing. And we're seeing it pop up a lot right now. And it's really fine. It's when they're missing multiple weeks, extended periods, things like that. If Elijah Moore is back at practice tomorrow, zero concern. So there's a lot of guys right now that are sitting in that bucket, and Elijah Moore is one of them. So I'm not concerned if he's back to practice, let's say tomorrow or the next day. I have zero concerns with my, 18th round click Elijah Moore, at cost. Dyami Brown or Yoshi Voss, depends on my build realistically. In a vacuum, Yoshi Voss probably. It's really close. It's really close. Like Parker Washington's getting some serious buzz right now, which I love to see considering he's literally my most drafted player in the big board, higher than Kyle Williams, even just barely, but he's higher than Kyle Williams in the big board. I didn't expect them to trade up for Travis Hunter. If they didn't, I would be sitting very good, and I'd be at the same exposure in Best Ball Mania with Parker Washington if they hadn't drafted Travis Hunter. But I don't know. It's close. Like higher ceiling for Dyami Brown, higher floor for Yoshi Voss for sure. So it depends on how you're building realistically. Are you stacking? Are you is it a bring back, tiebreaker? I'm not going to like in a vacuum, again, depends on how you're building, but Yoshi Voss, as far as like who I think will probably score more points, probably Yoshi Voss. Tyreek Hill, I'm trying to just smash in the early second round. I'm trying to get unique pairings as much as I possibly can with Tyreek Hill. So that's a big focus for me. Neighbors, I think he's a smash. Drafting him, ahead of Puka was drafting him. At one point in time, I had him ahead of Christian McCaffrey at 7 is where I had Neighbors. Now I have McCaffrey ahead of, honestly, I have McCaffrey ahead of Barkley and Justin Jefferson is where I have McCaffrey. I think we need to get on board. At least I am. So do what you want to do. But I'm getting on board. Waddle, love the click. CeeDee Lamb will almost certainly be my highest exposed first round pick. Most likely. My new Neighbors is higher than him, obviously, but we'll see where that ends up. Besh is a little high. Igbuka, I'm happy with that. I've been clicking them all the way up. Garrett Wilson, I'm good. Pickens, I'm good. No real concerns here. There's nobody that I'm worried about as far as my exposure. Maybe a little heavy on Judy, I suppose. I don't know, 11%. I think I'm fine with that. Higgins, Bateman, Jamar Chase, I would like more, obviously, but it is what it is. Ahead of the field, 10%. There you go. Jaden Reed, maybe, but Ridley, maybe right at the field, but maybe a little more Ridley. Amon-Ra, same thing. No real concerns here. Realistically, these are my kind of at the field type of guys, so I'm happy there. Adonai Mitchell, yeah, that's okay. Noel, I wouldn't say I'm overweight on anybody realistically. I'm happy with all of these guys. Turpin, one of my guys, is Turpin time. Jennings, okay with that. Let's go to the bottom. So Parker Washington, 1 click so far. We'll see. I might add a couple more. Nothing crazy, but I do want a couple percent. Parker Washington, he looked great in the preseason. He was getting tons of buzz. Sorry, in OTAs, he was getting tons of buzz. I didn't think that they were going to trade up for Travis Hunter. Here we are. So that definitely hurts him a little bit, but I still think there's a little bit of value there. So I'm going to get a couple clicks. Myers potentially could use a click or two. Jalen Royals, I could probably get a few more shares. Cooper Kupp, he's a tough click, but there is a time and a place for Cooper Kupp. Mike Evans, same thing. I said I was going to force the click, and I did in the preseason or big board season, but I haven't yet in Best Ball Mania, and I don't know. I don't know if I will. We'll see. I probably should, but that's a bit of a gap. A.J. Brown, again, I'm going to be below the field on A.J. Brown. I'm going to be below the field on Jalen Hurts. I'm right at the field on Devonta Smith, so we'll see where that ends up. Rashee Rice, 2 clicks. I'll start picking up a couple shares as his price makes sense. I just saw the Typhel Tower boys get him at pick 51. That makes some sense. So right around there. Diggs, I'm just higher on other pieces in that offense personally. Travis Hunter, similar story, 2 clicks. I'm not really worried about these guys. Savion Williams, those must have been some early clicks. Wow. Interesting. Nico, could probably get a couple more, but I'm going to be below the field. Same with Justin Jefferson. I'm going to be below the field. Coleman's getting some serious positive buzz right now. So that's a guy I'm trying to click a little more. Puka, I'm lower on, but I think Neighbors, I think Christian McCaffrey, go before him, no questions asked. So that's what makes the Puka click a little tougher. But we'll see how that works out. Diami Brown, there he is, 5%. I'm fine with that. Fellow Hoser, what's going on? Jumping around from stream to stream while doing a mini on drafters. Nice. Appreciate you popping in. Hit that like button for me, guys, if you don't mind. If you're over on the Twitter machine, jump on the YouTube algo. Hit the like button for me if you don't mind. Help me out. DJ Moore, Xavier Worthy, Ray. Okay. We're looking all right. This is kind of where I want to be. Let's pop over to the running backs. Let's go to the top. 33% Rashard Smith. Pretty high on Rashard Smith. Same thing with DJ Giddens, getting some positive buzz today. Finally, I've been kind of hesitant a little bit. I was about the same, 30-something% on DJ Giddens as well, but I pulled back a touch while we weren't hearing anything out of camp, but we're getting some positive buzz. He's clearly the running back too. I like Rashard Smith, especially, at the end of drafts. Bye week typically works out. Ray Davis, I like that. That's maybe a touch high. I definitely need to click a little more James Cook, which I'm doing. But that's okay. I can pull back on Ray Davis relatively easily. Jordan Mason, I love that. I'm happy to be at 20%. Jalen Wright, I'm okay with that. Again, it's that Miami-Tampa game. I like Charbonnet. He's got some standalone value. Judkins is more or less all before that news came out, so that was a bit of a hit. I haven't drafted him since, and realistically, again, he's off my board. I'm still 15%, and I want to get that down, obviously below 10 until we get some news. I have no reason to draft Judkins right now, and I won't. Henderson, 15%, happy with that. Tootin, little high, 14%, but I can ease off the gas pedal and level it out. So I'm not worried about it right now. Caleb, Brees Hall, I'm happy with those. Marshawn Lloyd, we got some news today. Again, it's one of those, he's in that bucket where if he comes back to practice tomorrow or he sits out tomorrow, comes back the next day, that sort of thing, then I'm really not concerned, but we'll see. You know, I don't think there's a real concern with Marshawn Lloyd at this point, but I think they are going to be cautious with him a little bit. So it's fine. I don't need to worry about it, but I also don't need to draft him realistically either. Braylon Allen gets some serious buzz, 13%, happy with that. Wouldn't mind even clicking a few more shares. Rashard White, Jarquez Hunter, happy with those. We've got Tajay Spears there. Jonathan Taylor, happy with that. There we go. Audric Estime, god damn, how do I still have 10% Audric Estime? How did I click him 8 times? That hurts. That's okay. I won't be drafting him again, obviously. So that's okay. It's a little annoying, but it is what it is. Tank Bigsby is obviously a guy I'm focused on right now. Bijan, first round click. So, geez, Estime. So that's fine. It is what it is. 10%. I'm happy with that. If I can get more, I will. Kenny Walker, another guy I'm focused on. Scattaboo, getting some serious push right now. So that's a guy I'd like to click a little more. I was kind of, I mean, where's Tracy? He's got to be close. I was, yeah, definitely heavy Scattaboo early. And then I started clicking Tracy, and now I'm back clicking Scattaboo for sure. CMC, I want to get that up a lot higher than 9%. That's for sure. Genty, I'm fine with being at the field. Swift, Kamara, cool. Gibbs, yeah, I should probably get a little more Gibbs. Woody Mark, I was clicking before this Mixon thing, like a few clicks, and now I'm getting a few more shares, so I like that. Cook, definitely a guy I'm focused on. Harvey below the field. Brooks is there. I'd like to get a few more Taj Brooks shares. Barkley, if it makes sense, but obviously it hasn't much. I've only clicked him at 5 or 6, so I'm okay with my 2 shares. If I get a few more, I'd like to be at like 4, 6%, something like that. Kyron, yeah, I'm hesitant, but I should probably get a few more clicks. Definitely Derrick Henry. I don't love that he's going like double the cost right now. I don't love that, but I should probably get a few more clicks. Same thing with Jacobs. I should get a few more clicks there. Chase Brown, definitely one time, and I think it was last night that I clicked Chase Brown. Shipley once. I'm okay with that. There's a few guys I need to focus on, but not a massive concern. So Brashard Smith, Roma Dunze, DJ Giddens, Kyle Williams, K. Dotton, Caleb Williams, Yoshi Voss, Mooney. I like the way the top of my board looks, my portfolio as far as Best Ball Mania is concerned. Let's pull it back to everything and just take a look at that. So Brashard Smith, Giddens, Otten, no question. Obviously, it's going to be very similar. Tyreek's a little higher than others. I like that. London, I like that. Waddle, I'm happy with that. A little more Braylon Allen. Yeah. I'm happy with my exposure, realistically. There's a few guys I need to watch it a little bit. But for the most part, I'm quite happy. I'm getting a lot of positive pub on a lot of my stands. Obviously, Brashard Smith, even Giddens today was nice. Roma Dunze, obviously. Kyle Williams, obviously. Those are fucking bangers. I'm really happy about that. Getting a lot of positivity around Tyreek for the most part. Yoshi Voss got some positive stuff. London, Waddle's killing it. Yeah, I'm Braylon Allen. Mason Taylor's getting some positive news. Higgins, Fields, Igbuka, obviously. Yeah, like I'm not missing a ton right now, which is really, really nice to see. What's my favorite click today? I mean, it depends on like where we're talking. Like I got a lot of favorites. All these guys where they're going. Like Tyreek in the second is an absolute smash. Roma Dunze in the fifth is an absolute smash for me. I think where Jordan Mason's going is a positive click. Drake London in the early second, smash. I think Waddle's a smash. I think Braylon Allen is a fantastic click right now. Higgins, where he's going, is just an insta click for the most part. I got a lot of favorites. Like I wouldn't say I have like one favorite click right now. Probably Roma Dunze. Like he's been my guy all season. I've been pounding the table for Roma Dunze, and if you've been listening to me, wonderful. Same thing with Kyle Williams. I've been smashing the table since literally March 2nd. I have the video. I just posted it on Twitter. March 2nd, I promise you, I guarantee you, I was the first one ever on Kyle Williams. 100%. Almost a month before Chris Sims put him on number 2 on his top 5. Almost a month before that, your boy was on Kyle Williams over here. So those are two of my favorite clicks for the most part, but not that I need to focus on them a crazy amount because obviously you see the exposure. Just hit my 100th BBM. Nice. That's a good pace for the most part. I want to slow a little bit. Like I want some, some clicks. Let's pull up the draft, room kind of thing. Let's see where we're at. I think I got to zoom out a little bit. There we go. So I have 71 BBMs left. I'm happy about that. That's right where I want to be. I want to be able to even out some exposures and do some different things, get some unique combos, stuff like that with my last 70. So I'm trying to do like one a day right now until we get into preseason games. We see some more injuries pop up because we will, that sort of a thing. So I'm trying to slow down on Best Ball Manias, to be honest with you. The problem is there's really not much else to draft. Like the other tournament I would like to draft now is the sprint, but it's tough to fill a sprint room. Maybe a couple more weekly winners, but yeah, I only want to be about 25 weekly winners. Might only do like 25 sprints. We'll see. And then eliminators, I'd like to get to 50 or so, something like that. But I'm holding off on my eliminators. I have 23 I've drafted so far, so I'm holding off until kind of as late as I can on the eliminators. So yeah, it's basically Best Ball Mania or the sprint until they release something else. The Chow Chow, that filled. Yeah, it won't let me click on it. Okay. That's weird. It's not on here. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Rome is buzzing 100%. Seriously positive news on Rome Dunze. Loving it. You got me clicking K-Will in the big board. You're welcome. You're welcome. Appreciate that. 100%. I was the first one ever talking about Kyle Williams. That's a guarantee. Find me a video. Find me proof. We're going to jump into a Best Ball Mania. 20-second clock. Waiting on 10. Friends and family. 0 EV for me on this one. That's fine. That's fine. I was just drafting the Chow Chow. I think I got 6. I got 6 Chow Chows in. Can't max that sucker. Does a number on your bankroll. the $50 Chow Chows. That's an awesome tournament, though. I had to get a bunch in. 6 Chow Chows. I'm happy with that. I love that structure. It's fantastic. If it was dropped earlier in the draft cycle, I would have maxed it. But here we are, and we're trying to watch our bankroll a little bit. So we're full. We are pick number 12. Okay. We're going to try something a little bit different in this one. We got Dr. B. Harris. We're going to be sniping each other over here, so that's good. That is fun. Wife's boyfriend. Yeah, I'm gonna do something a little bit different in this one. I want to get unique, so something I want to do different. I'm sure Kyle Williams' mother was talking about Kyle Williams before I found the video for proof. I'm sure she probably was. That's a fair statement, Jeff. She was probably, maybe his dad too. I don't know. I don't know what his family situation looks like, but you're probably right. You're probably right on that one. Gotta love it. Yeah, that's good. Hopefully we're not, sniping each other too much. We'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes over here. We know you're taking London Hill, he says. You think so? You think that's what I'm doing? Were you listening to the show last time? Or maybe the week before, or the episode before? Last couple episodes, I was talking about that. That might be what I do. We'll see. I think I have that already, so I may or may not. I think I have that already. Plus, it depends if someone falls. Like if someone can create a unique combo here, then I'm gonna go that route instead for sure. For sure. Wonder how far Jefferson's gonna fall. He definitely is gonna get pipped by Christian McCaffrey, I think, for sure. That's pretty much as far as he's gonna go. I think if he falls to 7, wouldn't be shocking. Like ADP 7. So we'll see. It'll take him some time to get there, though. It'll definitely take some time to get there. We'll see how it happens. Puka Nacua goes. Neighbors is just a smash click right now. Wouldn't mind getting a touch more, Nico, at some point. 2 clicks. It's just not quite enough. Neighbors goes. Collins goes. I am going to do London Reek. If there was the ability to get a unique combo, I would do it. Let's go London Tyreek. At some point, I should probably mix in an Achane Tyreek Hill there. That should probably be a focus, I think. But we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. Oh, crap. I didn't even see if I had that combo. This should tell me. Shout out Best Ball overlay. That's the overlay that I am using currently. Link in the description. Go create yourself a free account for sure. And if you feel like you want to pay for it, promo code OTS down there. I recommend it. I have done it once. Okay. I've done it once because I have it with Hampton. So one time I did do this. Okay. So I have to get unique from, I don't have to, but I would like to get unique from that build, which should be pretty easy because I've only done it once. Zoom in on the draft board. It's a bit small. It's kind of a pain in the ass when it comes to navigating the draft room. Let's see if we can make that work. Hopefully that helps. The weird thing is that the draft board is now smaller too, which is annoying. Like it used to be the whole screen for the draft board like this. Now it's a bunch smaller since the kind of update on Underdog, but kind of the best I can do there. Hopefully it's a little bit zoomed in. Hopefully you can see it a little bit better. I got CD Brian Thomas combo today. That feels pretty nice. That definitely feels pretty nice in a Best Ball Mania. That's fun. That's definitely a little bit unique. Like you can get CD at 6 for sure, and then to get Brian Thomas to fall to 19. Wow, yeah, that's fun. Or if you got him at 7, maybe 7 and 18. Either way, that's a fun That's a fun pairing for sure. When you said unique, I thought for sure you're going Genty Bowers. Pretty much never going Genty Bowers. I think that's honestly like the worst way you could possibly start realistically. If they had a better week 17 game than the Giants, then, sure, we could maybe make a case for that. Who do they play? Let's go Thornton. Philly. I guess you could do that like week 15, stack it with Philly, Houston, maybe. But Houston's got a very good defense. Philly's got a quite good defense, though they'll probably regress from last year. So yeah, I honestly think that's probably like the worst way you could possibly start a draft, if I'm being honest. But maybe that's just me. Let's pop open the combo tool here. So Worthy doesn't make a ton of sense to click here. Breeze would have been fun. Brees Hall would have been fun right there. We'll see what Dr. Harris does. He was Kyron. Let's do the let's do Terry and Jaden Daniels. I think that I'm fine with Terry McLaurin holding in. I think it's actually a positive sign that he's now with the team. I think that means they're relatively close. He's now holding in. I think that there's definitely conversations with the Sutton deal done today. Then that's definitely going to be within the realm of what Terry McLaurin's going to get paid. Unfortunately for Terry McLaurin, I actually think he's worth a lot more than that. But if you're the team, you're saying, hey, like, what do you want from me? Like, this is what similar production. What do you want from me? Similar age, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. I hope Terry McLaurin gets, a little bit more, at least like 25, maybe more guaranteed money, something like that. Either way, I'm not too concerned. I think they get a deal done, and he's super important to that team and that offense and the continued success of the Commanders. So I think they get something done. And this kind of, again, it's a unique pairing. I'm happy with that. We're almost halfway through the tournament, and I'd be willing to bet any amount of money that this is a unique 4-player kind of start. So very unique. So I'm happy with that. And I like the start. I like the start for sure. But I'm definitely going to fall behind at running back. Obviously, I know that. We'll see where we go from there. Kyle Williams' mother was praising him since adolescence and drafting best ball teams with Genty Bowers. She's a visionary. Maybe. I think that's literally like the worst way to start a draft, to go Genty Bowers. I really think that I did a whole video of that in the big board season about that, start, or those two players for that team. It just doesn't make sense. There's almost no way in the world that both players pay off their ADP. So one of them probably will. Yeah, one will, one won't. Maybe that neither do. That's very on the table as well. So I don't know. I'm going to be below weight on both players, or right at field probably on both players. Your thoughts, please. If you can only do 60 main events, is it wiser to plant flags on your favorites and go zeros on guys like Scadaboo, Pacheco, Cup, etc.? Or is it better to get a little bit of everyone on 60? I mean, interesting. That's an interesting thought. I personally wouldn't want zeros on certain guys. Like a guy like Cup, I would be fine with a zero. Even a guy like Pacheco, I would probably be fine with a zero. Scadaboo, I would not. There's not a lot of rookies that, should have a prominent role that I'd be comfortable having a zero on. I would definitely plant flags and have my favorites. Like you saw my portfolio, I have my 30% guys, and I'm going to continue to have those 30% guys. So I would still do that regardless. So, but I wouldn't, there are some zeros I would take for sure. I would plant flags. I would have 30% guys, but I'd also have those at field guys. There's not too much different. Like 60 is, a relative high volume where you can actually plant some flags and have some zeros. I wouldn't do it too much different than how I have my current Best Ball Mania exposures, like you just saw. You know what I mean? So that's what I would do. I would definitely plant some flags and have some 30% guys personally, but that's how I draft. So I would absolutely get my guys and have those 30% guys. I would have those 20% guys. I'd have those 15% guys. I'd have those 10% guys. I'd have those below field 4% guys. So I would still relatively balance my portfolio, but I would absolutely plant some flags. Always, I think you should plant some flags. Yeah, there you go. Jeff, same answer here. Speaking for myself, I only 20 max contests. Flag plant and balance. Don't try to fade, but also respective ADP. This is a massive contest. Need a flank plant, but ADP agnostic. It's up to your risk. No right or wrong. Yeah, that's kind of it. Obviously, I was hoping for a Dunze there. I would have smash picked Odunze, but Dr. Harris probably would have clicked him before me, which is fine. I don't want to go Debo, though I don't mind it. Maybe I do. Let's go Debo, actually. Let's go Debo. Then we're done at week 12 for wide receivers, no question. And then I think it's just Chuba. Just take the kind of highest floor guy here. I need week in, week out points at running back. And I do not think that anyone at the position in Carolina, is going to take carries from Chuba Hubbard realistically. So let's do that. I would have snap clicked Rome Dunze. Scatterboo, it's more his ADP. I actually like his ADP. And is this main event? That's the drafters? Because that's like also a very, very, very different format than Best Ball Mania, right? So yeah, I don't play drafters. So I don't play the marathon. I don't play the season-long game. So my strategy is not conducive to those tournaments. So maybe I'm not the right person to ask as far as if that's what it is. If this is the drafters main event, I mean, I would still do my flag plants, but I would draft differently than how I draft Best Ball Mania. No questions asked. I would draft differently. So I would still like a similar draft strategy as far as my portfolio is concerned, but the players and my stands and the players that I would be going after would be completely different in that format than in this format, in the Underdog Best Ball Mania format. So hopefully that clears it up a little bit. This team needs more Canadians. Wise choice. Absolutely. He's from about 3 hours north of me, roughly. Depends on how fast you're driving. About 3 hours north of me. So shout out Sherwood Park, Chuba Hubbard. Josh Palmer already in the queue. Maybe. I do like me some Josh Palmer this year, as you saw. So maybe. PPR, no playoffs, but watching you guys, ADPs are much the same. It's completely different. Yeah, I know this. I know the format of drafters. I don't draft on drafters. I don't draft the marathon. I don't draft the season long, no playoff stuff. So it's completely different. It's completely different. But as far as my portfolio and my overall strategy would be concerned, it's similar. Yeah, different, completely different, completely different. Can't do Underdog in Ontario. Living in the wrong province, pal. Don't live in Ontario. That's your first problem. But yeah, rip across the border over to, if you're in Toronto, then I guess you're kind of screwed. Rip over to Montreal, take a train ride, go down to Buffalo, something like that. But no, I get it. It is what it is. Can you do DraftKings in Ontario, or is it just drafters that you can do? And some of the other weird ones. I'm not sure if you can do DK in Ontario or not. I don't draft on DraftKings either. I exclusively draft on Underdog, and it's not like I have an agreement or anything. It's just I don't need to draft anywhere else realistically. There's more than enough on Underdog, where I literally have to choose tournaments to balance my budget and my bankroll. Like I can't just max everything. If I could, then I would play in other sites as well. But I just don't need to, and I can keep the consistent same strategy for every tournament. Well, that's not true either, but you know what I mean. Province on province smack. Yeah. I mean, I live in Alberta, so yeah, we're upset with the rest of the country. You know that. You know that. Just drafters, eh? I guess it is what it is. I mean, if that was the case, then I'd get good at drafters, I suppose. But yeah. But I'm happy I don't have to make that sort of a decision. Drafters, but no Underdog. What am I missing there? He lives in Ontario, in Canada, different province, different rules in Ontario, just Ontario, and there's some different rules in Quebec. But out here in Alberta, it's the Wild West. I can do whatever I want. It's awesome. We're gonna definitely smash Emeka Egbuka and pair him up with Baker Mayfield. Obviously, I have Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay. I have all of these bringbacks. So let's get the Tampa Bay side. I'm 100% done at quarterback. I love that feeling. That's awesome. This is a fun team. My running back room might be a little bit precarious, but I'm happy I took Chuba there over. Like, that's why you click Chuba Hubbard over an RJ Harvey. With this build, I'm not saying every time, whatever. With this build, with what I had, going 3 wide receivers, quarterback, wide receiver, it's always Chuba Hubbard over RJ Harvey. No question, not even close, not even a conversation in my head. I need to secure some running back points week in, week out, which I've now done. So that's the way I think to draft there. The hope was this happened, Egbuka and Baker. And Egbuka is definitely rising, but that's a massive fall on Jaden Reed too. Nice click for Dr. Harris there. Dang. Only 6. Reed is falling. Hey, he used to be a 6-7 turn guy. Darnell Mooney gets pulled up. Wow. Crazy. I'm team Jaden Reed over Matthew Golden, and it's not particularly close. But wow, Jaden Reed is a faller, hey? Still a good price. That's a great click at 83. Dang. I would have clicked Jaden Reed for sure if Egbuka wasn't there. Well, cool. Where would you click Bowers? I've got late second. I've got 2 late second Bowers teams. Hated him at the 1-2 turn when the contest opened, but I take him if he falls. I'm exactly the same boat. I like him. Yeah, I mean, if you can get him at the 2-3 turn here with the Jamar Chase, that would be unbelievable. That's what I'm hoping to get at some point. I would love a Chase Bowers team. That would be super fun. But I'm taking him around here because, like, yeah, I'm probably 20, right where he is here, 20, that's fine. Basically, my pick has to start with the 2 if you want me to click Bowers, because I'm taking Trey McBride around here as well, like 25, 26, 27. So Bowers' pick has to start with the 2 for me. I have a few shares as well, similar to you. I would say it's very, very similar take as what you want to do there. I just think there's too much value at the end of drafts at tight end. You saw my exposure, right? So I don't think it makes a crazy amount of sense. I don't think it's super necessary to take elite tight end this year, personally, though I don't want a 0. I'm right at the field on Bowers, and that's probably where I'll stay. But again, I have a hard time clicking him if his pick doesn't start with a 2. That's for sure. I clicked. Yeah, for sure. Jaden Reed's a good click there. Higgins is a nice bring back on the other side. Nice little squad we got here. Double stack Houston. Don't worry, I will not be sniping you on Stroud. That's for damn sure. You can push him around the corner if he's there. I will not be taking him. So I'll tell you that for free. I like the Denver KC game here, a little game action. That's fun. I believe, do New England and Green Bay play each other? I think they do. Could be wrong on that. Baltimore Jets, right? For sure for New England. And then is it Buffalo? Denver. Or New England, I'm looking at. Buffalo, yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay. Coming to our pick. I get my Bauer stars on PPR sites. That's a good strategy. I don't mind that. He would definitely have a little more value for me on DraftKings or Drafters. He would have more value for me. So I don't hate that take of doing that. Scatterboo gets pulled up. That would have been my click. Definitely not quarterback. We're done there. Wow, Hawkinson just falls into my lap. I guess I have to click Hawkinson here. That's for sure. 21 picks past ADP. Give me TJ Hawkinson, and I'll say thank you for it. Man. I kind of want Tracy. I'm just going to take Charbonnet here. I need some running back. I need some running back help. So let's take Charbonnet. Pairs up with Chuba week 17. That's a fun little correlation. I like Charbonnet as a player. You know, realistically, they got to be really close, Tracy and Charbonnet. It's just going to depend on who gets the early season run for the Giants. But Scatterboo's getting first team reps right now, so that's concerning. Not that like Charbonnet is ever really, entrenched to like take carries away from Kenneth Walker, but Kenneth Walker's had a lot of injury history. We know that. So, and in a Kubiak system, I've been saying this since the big board. I guarantee another thing I was one of the first people talking about was running backs in a Kubiak system. Give them to me. Give them both to me. 21 picks on TJ Hawkinson. You bet your ass I'll click him there. Jeez. That's crazy value. That's fun. That is fun. Bijan Bowers and CMC Bowers. I like those combos. Nice. Yeah, those are fun. Those are definitely fun. I don't know what my Bowers teams are. I'll have to look at that actually at some point. I'll have to pull up bestballoverlay.com, link in the description, and check what my combos are for Bowers. I'm interested now. I think I have 2 as well. That would be fun. CMC Bowers. That would be a fun combo. Bijan Bowers, I like that. When I cashed on Underdog, when it became illegal, Underdog kept 30% for tax reasons. Had to get accountant involved. Pain in the ass. I have never heard of that being an issue. I've cashed out on Underdog. Never had that be a concern. I know, Pat from Fantasy Dog Pound, he's cashed out tens of thousands, like 15K. They didn't take anything, keep anything from him. So that's the first I've ever heard of that being an issue. If anyone else in the chat has seen that or heard of that, I've never seen that. Especially 30%. Like Americans pay more than 30% tax. They're about 42, I believe, roughly, taxation on their gambling or lotto winnings. We don't pay any tax in Canada. I haven't heard of Underdog keeping a penny, but maybe someone else in the chat, if you've had that happen. I've never had any issues personally. Maybe it's an Ontario thing. I don't know, but I've cashed out. I think it was like $2,500 or something like that is what I cashed out on Underdog, and I didn't have any issues. Nothing got kept, nothing like that. And same thing again, Fantasy Dog Pound, tens of thousands, 15, 20,000, something like that. They didn't keep a penny from him, and he is American. So I don't know. Maybe someone else can confirm that. Crazy fall. Nice. Yeah. Hawkinson at 108. That is fucking unbelievable. You bet your ass I'll click him there. Emo Cowboys in the house. What's happening, man? I caught the end of the Typhel Tower there, or right before I was able to pop on. So, as fun as it always been. Love it. Love that. Putt Daddy, Underdog, and others got into a pissing contest over taxes with douchebag Doug Ford. Draft was Canadian, but in US dollars. Draft is Canadian. I didn't know that. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Doc 79s, and he cashed out 10K after winning the Wildcat shout out. Big win. And didn't have any issues. So there you go. Like, I don't know. I haven't heard of that. Maybe it's an Ontario thing. That's very possible. Man, that would have been a really easy Tyler Warren click right there. So nice value there. I'm going to go Jake Ferguson here to pair up with my Washington. Just signed a new contract. Happy for him. I guess it's like Dylan Sampson here. Once upon a time, it would have been Najee, but not now. That's for sure. Let's pull up Dylan Sampson here. Samsonite. I knew it started with an S, though. Let's pull up Dylan Sampson. I'd like to get a few more shares. It just makes sense for my build realistically. He's getting basically all the run right now, which is great for him. So let's do that. I like this team quite a bit. Very unique, very different, very on brand. I'm happy with it. Losimo in the house. What's happening, man? Appreciate you. Maybe because you guys are still legal. I don't know. It was a small amount. Interesting. Yeah. That sucks. That sucks, man. I've never had any issues personally. I haven't heard of anyone else having issues. This is probably just a weird Ontario thing for some reason. So that sucks. I'm Ramondre over Samson. I mean, I probably am too. That's probably the correct click right there. Yeah, that's probably the correct click, in fairness. I'm kind of trying to shoot for the moon a little bit. Like, I don't necessarily want two Chuba Hubbards in my running back room is kind of what I'm getting at. Like, especially the same bye week. Not that that matters really, because it doesn't, but like two, 60 yards and a touchdown kind of guys. Like, I don't know. It's Ramondre is probably the correct click, but no regrets. At the ends is definitely more of a get your guys draft spot. Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. Or take the value. Like if there's falling value, take it. Which is, again, probably what I should have done on Ramondre because there was some serious value there. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm pissed 7-hole took Dame bye week or damn bye week. Stroud naked. Damn badgeless. Oof. What are you doing? Yeah, you gotta get your guys, man. We gotta get our guys. He doesn't even have like the Chargers. That's interesting. Took him early too. Yikes. Yeah, that sucks. It is what it is. Like you're not going to pull him up to 110. So, yuck. At least you got Drake May there. That's nice. That helps a lot. If you didn't have Drake May, then you'd be in trouble. For sure. But that is a little unnecessary. That definitely stings. I feel for you, man. We've all had that happen. Yeah. He has Addison with his JJ McCarthy, but I rarely say this, but it looks like a 7 running back team. Yeah, maybe. I've been doing that a fair amount, but probably not. It'll probably stay as a 6 running back team. Yeah, because I'm almost certainly going. I am going 3 tight ends. So at least probably going 3 tight ends. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But I don't mind the 2772. I actually really like that build. I have a bunch of builds 2772. I think it's a great way to build, honestly. 2682, 2772. Those are probably not my favorites. 2583 is my absolute favorite build this year. So with 20-second clocks, auto picks are so much more common. May have autoed Stroud. Maybe. Who knows? The badge lists are tough to trust. It's tough to trust them. You definitely don't want to push them, but you're also not going to pull up CJ Stroud, 20 picks ahead of ADP. That's for damn sure. So it's no question Tank Bigsby here. That's who I was hoping would fall. So that's an easy click. We're definitely going there. I don't mind going. Oh man, I don't know if I want to just take the Jacksonville backfield. That's interesting. Let's go Tillman. Yeah, let's take Cedric Tillman. I need to swerve back to wide receiver here for our 6th wide receiver. Happy with that. I was really hoping Bigsby would fall there, so that's fantastic. He's been rising. I'm really happy to get him at ADP, current ADP, because he's going to be going quite a bit higher in not too long. Realistically, like Tank Bigsby should be going honestly, he's probably a better click than Dylan Sampson. Higher than Algier, higher than Garendo, higher than Rashad White, higher than Eckler. Najee is just an interesting case right now. I don't need to get more shares while we don't know what the fuck is going on with his eye. I want to see his face. Show us his face without sunglasses, man. But yeah. Maybe like Ray Davis, honestly. I think Ramondre should be going higher. Mind you, he is. I think his ADP is 122. So realistically, he should be good. That was a ridiculous fall. So that's great value for this guy. Probably should have clicked him myself instead of Dylan Sampson. That's probably what we should have done, but that's all right. That's all right. I'm still okay with the Dylan Sampson click. Actually, now I'm really not. Why did I click Tillman with Sampson? What am I doing? I was just so happy to get Tank. I don't know. That was a mistake. I should have just went Jalen Wright. That was the other thought process there. But you never know. Maybe the Browns are what you need. I like both the players. Now that I got Tillman here, definitely Ramondre was the click. That's not even a conversation anymore. We're not going to be perfect, mistakes get made. Mistakes were made. It is what it is. That's frustrating though. To the zeros, if I may. Blue is an undersized 5th-round rookie who fumbles, is going 3 rounds earlier than sure starter. Ford can't click Blue. That's fine. Especially if we're talking drafters. And Ford hasn't started practicing yet, which is concerning. That's again why I like Dylan Sampson here. He's getting all of the work. So I really don't mind that. They basically brought in more or less a camp body right now. Maybe he makes the team, maybe he doesn't. Tua or something like that. Led the USFL in rushing. It's good to bring in camp body type of a guy, but realistically, if the season were to start today, it'd be Dylan Sampson, no questions asked. So I like that he's getting all of the work right now. That is massive for him as a rookie running back, getting all of the first team reps. Huge advantage. So yeah, I don't think I would disagree with this as far as the Dallas running back room is precarious to say the least. So I can't fault you for it. I should have went Bigsby. I oversaw that one. That's all right. We both passed on Ramondre, like a full round past ADP. So, again, mistakes were made. That's how she goes. 21% Ford, by the way. I think that's a little high. Again, with him not practicing yet, that's a big concern for me. that he's not out there. Again, it's big for Dylan Sampson getting all of the work with that offense right now. Huge advantage for him, especially over Judkins, but obviously it's a big advantage regardless. So it's K-Dot in here for sure. I just hate this running back range. Wow. Tried and true. Good old trusty. Just always there. Fits my bye weeks every time. Let's pull up Rashard Smith. A little aggressive to take him in the 16th, but who gives a shit at this point? I have a lot of eggs in the Rashard Smith basket. Potentially too many. We'll see. I saw Bears beat writer predict DeAndre Swift doesn't finish the year as RB1 in a running back room where you need to catch up. Roshan seems like a good click on that news. Was Roshan there? Yeah, no, he wasn't there. That I would have clicked Roshan for sure. He went way over here. Over Tillman? Yeah. That could have been the click for sure. That could have been the click. Oh, there you go. I'm Chubb over Rashard Smith. I'm zero Chubb, man. I'm not falling for Chubb again. Like I never had. I didn't last year. I'm not this year. I'm not drafting Nick Chubb. I'm not. 0%. 0%. I could show you all tournaments and it would be 0% there as well. I'm not drafting Nick Chubb. You can't make me, Jamie. You can't make me draft Nick Chubb. It's just not going to happen. I'm not doing it. Agree with Sampson. I have some shares. Can't see it with Blue because of his ADP. Sometimes he goes ahead of Javonte. Yeah, that's aggressive. Like if I needed a floor play, like if I needed some points in my running back room, it would be Javonte. He's going to be on the field more than Blue. He's almost certainly. I like Javonte over Miles Sanders, and it's not close. I have 0% Miles Sanders as well. A little bit of Blue because different in Underdog. It makes sense to have some Blue. He's a spike week kind of a guy. And then Javonte, I have a few shares here and there. You know, I need some points, similar to like a very poor man's Chuba Hubbard sort of situation. But yeah, Sampson makes some sense right now for sure. Footballs don't carry themselves for 2 yards. That's why we need to draft Chubb 2 rounds ahead of ADP. See, you got your Chubb. I've got my Pacheco. Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. I can't blame you. Make your stands, man. Don't just blindly listen to me. That's for damn sure. Don't just blindly listen to anybody. You know, get your guys, take your stands, stick to it, believe in it. Don't change what you're doing because you heard something on an internet program. This draft is needing a real good pilot to land it for me. Love the value you've gotten through the draft. It allows you to reach on those later picks. Yeah, absolutely. Like realistically, it does not matter who you pick rounds 14 to 18 as far as ADP is concerned. ADP does not matter at all. Rounds 14 or below, even higher. Fuck. Like get your guys. It really doesn't matter. Round 12, you know, I can pull up a Dylan Sampson. You know, I probably still, again, should have clicked Ramondre, but it is what it is. Like ADP is fictionary in a lot of these types of rooms. DJ Giddens for sure. And then probably I need to click Jalen Royals a little bit more frequently, but I'm not going to here. So it's definitely DJ Giddens. And then, man, I don't know. Wicks, yeah. I'm going to get another Parker Washington share. No, I'm not. Let's get another Yoshivas share. Yeah, that works better. That works better. Nice. Okay. I didn't want to pair Parker Washington with Tank Bigsby, to be honest with you. Not necessarily, like Yoshivas is he's just such a smash click at round 18, pick 18 in your draft. I just don't understand why he's not going higher. I was talking about it last episode with Big Brain Billy Jones. And man, like, how is he going in the same round as Coker, Jalen Coker, the wide receiver for, like, Jordan Whittington is going in the same spot as Andre Yoshivas, Tyler Lockett. Like, what are we doing? The wide receiver for the fourth option, whatever. Like, I just don't understand the wide receiver 3 in Cincinnati going in the 18th round. One, soft tissue injury to T. Higgins, which happens every single year, and Yoshivas is just an absolute smash. So, yeah, I'm happy with that click. It makes sense, I think. Between Javonte and Miles Sanders is less dust than Javonte. He's free at the end. That's why I click a good amount of Sanders, but I probably be fading the rest of the way. But I'll probably be fading the rest of the way. Pick your guy, choose your fighter. For me, it's Javonte over Sanders and a little bit of blue. I just don't really think Sanders has much juice left. Like, Javonte is 25, Miles Sanders is 30. So give me the younger guy. And the bigger reason I'm Javonte, the biggest reason I'm Javonte over Miles Sanders, and I think that he leads his team in snaps, no question whatsoever, is he can pass block. Very, very good. He's a very, very, very good pass blocker. That's why he's going to be in the game more often than anybody else. He's a better pass blocker than Miles Sanders, not even close, and he's obviously an exceptionally better pass blocker than Jaden Blue. So Javonte is going to force himself on the field. If he's on the field, he's going to get some opportunities, and he can catch the ball a little bit. He's like Zeke, but actually better than Zeke, realistically. Probably a worse pass blocker, because Zeke is one of the best pass blockers in the NFL. It was, period, at running back. And Javonte is quite good. I wouldn't say he's one of the best, but he's quite good. Good call on Chubb. I've stopped drafting those today based on coach speak today. Yeah, it's just, why are we trying to draft Chubb? I'm not. I will be zero Chubb. I was zero Chubb last year. I'll be zero Chubb this year. It's not happening. I will get some Woody Marks in my life. That's for sure. I already have, and I will get a little bit more. But, and maybe even Dameon Pierce is someone we should think about. I'd like to get some positive coach speak first. I haven't drafted him yet, but I'd like, if we get some positive, pub on Dameon Pierce, he'll be on my menu a little bit. Yeah, ADP after round 11 and 12 for me is get your guys. Absolutely. It does not matter after round 12. It really doesn't matter. Get your guys, pull them up, do whatever you got to do. ADP is fictional after that. I like to stay within 12 picks of ADP up until round 10 for sure. For sure, round 10. And then after that, I can loosen it up, and then it gets looser as it gets to the end, right? Beat report came out today that suggested Giddens moved ahead of Herbert for RB2. Oh, I know, Jeff. Finally. That's why I slowed down. Like, I was right there with Brashard Smith, over 30% DJ Giddens, but I slowed down a little bit because there was just no news. There was just nothing kind of coming out. And I was like, I need to hear something about DJ Giddens. And then we got it today. I'm right back on the DJ Giddens train, and I got him at a little bit of a discount. So yeah, that's all I'm drafting him to be, is RB2. I want a lot of the running back 2 in Indianapolis, not only in Indianapolis, but also Jonathan Taylor's backup is the bigger kind of conversation there. Jonathan Taylor, a lot of miles, a lot of tread on those tires, like taken off, not a lot left, I should say. So I like DJ Giddens a lot. Your team is nice. If Bigsby and Chubb hit big, that team's got a good chance. I agree. That's kind of what I'm doing at running back. That's why I didn't take Ramondre. though he probably was the correct click, especially considering I went Brashard Smith and DJ Giddens at the end there. Then, but I mean, another rookie, I've got a couple, third-year running back sort of situations here, so it's balanced. But I like it. We're going to review the team and take a look at your team as well, Dr. Harris. 50% Wicks. That's aggressive. That's aggressive. I'd be more interested in Pierce than Marks, but Pierce is on PUP with an unspecified injury and no timetable for return, so we can't be in on Pierce yet. Dang, I didn't even know that. I didn't know he's on PUP. Okay, that's why we haven't heard anything positive, clearly. So definitely, I'm still in on Woody for sure. I don't even think he got drafted in this one. Marshawn Lloyd and Jarquez Hunter did not. Okay. Kyle Monungai did not. I would like to get a little of him. Maybe he did go. Oh, there he went. Jeez, right there. Right at the end of the draft. Nice click. Okay, let's review the team, my team and Dr. Harris's team, and then we'll get out of here. We got Jaden Daniels, Baker Mayfield. I really, really like that. That's super, super dangerous. Very, very happy with that QB room. Happy to stop at 2. I love stopping at 2. That looks good. Chuba Hubbard, Zach Charbonnet, Dylan Sampson, Tank Bigsby, Brashard Smith, DJ Giddens. I like the texture. Obviously, I need something to happen. I need one injury is what I need. I need one injury, whether it's even one of the Jacksonville guys, Etienne, or Etienne gets traded or something. You never know. One of them, like Etienne, probably not cut, but you know what I mean? Like he could get traded. So or an injury to Etienne, right? Or Bashal Tootin, something like that. And Bigsby's a bit more of a smash. Quinchon, obviously there's upside with Dylan Sampson there. If Kenny Walker gets injured, Zach Charbonnet is a smash. Similar, case with definitely maybe not Brashard Smith, but Indianapolis. If Jonathan Taylor, I need one injury in this running back room, and then I'm fine. That's all I need. Chuba Hubbard's going to carry it, and then one of these guys, realistically, one of these guys per week. But if I have an injury and it's the same guy every week, and then there's a third potentially popping up, fantastic. But I like this texture. That's fantastic. I'm happy with that. Drake London, Tyreek Hill, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Emeka Egbuka, Cedric Tillman, Andre Yoshivas. I really like that. I really, really like that. I'm not sure I love having Tillman with Sampson, but it's okay. It's okay. We got some positive speak on Tillman today. A little bit of an injury scare, but he's back. That's again like those situations where the guys sit out for a day, they get nicked up, a little tightness, whatever it is, and then they're back at practice. That's what happened with Tillman. Concussion issues are a concern, but he's looking good. I'm happy with that. Fun room. I think it can work. Obviously, I need Terry McLaurin to sign sooner than later, but I think it can definitely work. I've got Deebo there as well. Egbuka getting nothing but positive, speak behind him. Yoshivas is a high floor option at the end of my room, so that's quality. TJ Hawkinson, 21 picks at ADP value. That's crazy. Auto click, love it. Jake Ferguson, bring back to my Washington. K. Dotton, double stack Tampa Bay. I've got my week 17 stacks. Chuba's a stack. So basically it's Tampa Bay throughout the playoffs. And then I've got my double stack bring back with both my quarterbacks in week 17. So I've got 2 options if I should make it to the finals, which if this team makes it to the finals, it's probably got a relatively good chance. Like Dr. Harris said there, it's probably got a relatively good chance. Let's take a look at Dr. B. Harris. Picking right before me, got sniped on CJ Stroud. That's brutal. So ended up with Drake May and Geno Smith. I probably would have liked a third in there. Even if he's naked, I would have been fine with a third quarterback somewhere. But let's see how we landed this. Genty, Kyron, Trevion Henderson, RJ Harvey, Tyler Algier, Justice Hill. I probably, would have stopped at 5 and not pick Justice Hill and got another quarterback somewhere. You pick Geno after Algier. So, add a third after Geno sort of thing. I probably would have done that and no Justice Hill. You should be able to get by with Genty and Kyron. And then you got your upside guys with Trevion and Harvey. I actually like that texture of the 4. And then Algier, cool. Handcuff. Yep. Fine with that. But the 4 is really, really quality. It's a fun style of a running back room. I actually quite like that. But I probably would have gotten rid of Justice Hill and just added another quarterback somewhere. Nico, Xavier Worthy, Reed, Higgins, Burden, Johnston, Alec Pierce, and Deontay Thornton. I like that. We got the double stack, Vegas with Geno. I probably would have pulled up. I mean, where could you have done it? Pull up, or even, I guess that's where he went, Kyle Williams. Yeah, so Kyle Williams would have been the click there if you could have got him. But where did Pop Douglas go? Where did Pop Douglas go? Right there. Wow, 119. Holy shit. Okay, never mind. You couldn't get a stack option there with Drake May. Okay. Tyler Warren and Terrence Ferguson. So A-Rich, who gets drafted now. You got sniped left, right, and center, on these quarterbacks. Could have taken Daniel Jones, I suppose. 2 rookie tight ends. That's a little precarious. I don't think I'm breaking any news to you. I don't think this is your favorite team. You got sniped left, right, and center on quarterbacks. So it is what it is. Ford returned to practice today doing individual drills. Yeah, he was limited off to the side, I think. So that's good. But the more just all of the work that Dylan Sampson gets, the better for him, for sure. So even when Ford comes back, Sampson's still going to get a lot of run. So it's good for him to pick up that offense. It's very, very good for him. Needed A-Rich. Yeah, I hear you. He went way early. Yeah, I know. You got sniped pretty much everywhere. Figured Daniel Jones. I don't click Jones. That RB room should be fire. Yeah. As soon as I got sniped on Stroud, I knew I was throwing crap at the wall, hoping something sticks. I feel you, man. That's what it looks like, in fairness. But you did the best you could here. You got your Vegas. You got your Vegas stack there. So that helps. And yeah, guys getting pulled up, like Pop Douglas going at 119. Like, that's a little aggressive. I like Douglas a lot, but that's aggressive to say the least. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Yeah, and I'm not breaking any news to you. I'm sure this is your favorite team. So we all have bad drafts. Can't bet 1,000, 100%. We all have bad drafts. I have them. You have them. We all have them. It is what it is. Hit that like button for me, guys. If you're still watching, appreciate that. If you're new, you like the content, consider hitting that subscribe button for me. I'd really appreciate it. We'll be back on probably Wednesday night. We'll be back for some drafts. I got to finish up the baby room. We're pretty much done. A couple other things, yard work, all that kind of stuff. I got a wedding this weekend to prepare for, all that kind of stuff. So we'll be back Wednesday night for another draft. Appreciate you guys popping in. Appreciate you going over the exposure with me. Hopefully you guys can even out your exposures and stuff like that, like I'm working on as well. But like we always say on Off the Schneid, if you're afraid to be wrong, you'll never be right. Hopefully tonight we're right. We win $2 million. Best Ball Mania. Have yourselves a great night. Peace.